Hi, welcome to our video tutorial. So in this video tutorial we're going to see how to read content from a simple text file. So in the previous videos we have seen how to create a file and how to write content to a file. So now we'll see how to read the content that we saved or we write to a file in the previous tutorial. So for that we need to add a new button. All the other design is the same. So what I'm going to do is when we click this button, I want the code to read the content from our text file and put it in here in this text box. Okay, so this way we will implement how to read content from a simple text box. So let's fix our button btn read from file. So let's use the text here. Okay, so let's check. Let's create a mouse click event and all our code is going to be set in that event. Okay, there you go. So here, what we are going to do now is we need to create a reader, okay, to save or to write to a file. We have created FileReader in the previous video. Now to read from the file we need to create a file reader. Okay, so first let's create a new file object with the path name same as previous code. So this is the file that I want to store my I want to read from. So this is the location or the path of the file. Now we need to create a file reader. Yes, file reader is not imported yet. Now I want to import it. So I'll create an object called reader from file reader, and this file reader requires the file object that we created in the previous line. So this expects try catch. So let's add a simple try catch statement to our code. So there you go. Now after we have created the reader, now we need buffered reader. Same as buffered writer, we need buffered reader to read the file, to read the content from the file. Buffered reader, and this buffered reader uses the reader that we have created earlier. Now I can read the content from the file using this buffered reader that we have created. So here what we can do is we can use buffered reader dot read. As you can see, we have a lot of read functions. What we are going to use now is read line, which means it reads every single line one at a time, which means we have loop string current line. So this code will read single line, the first line, and store it in the current line variable. So what we are going to do now is I'm going to check while current line is not equal to null, then keep reading. Okay, so after reading we have to collect all the content to a variable called content, initialized it to current line. If the current line is empty, then content is going to be empty. Okay, now if current line is not null, then all I want is I want to concatenate everything we have, everything we read on the current line to the content variable end, we have to make sure that we have read the line every time. We have to read all the lines. So read the first line here and make sure the first line is not null, which means we have a content. So we will concatenate that statement to our file. Just space for the concatenation. After concatenation, we have to read the next line. So when the loop continues, if the next line is not null, then we have a second line. We concatenate it. We read the third line. If it's not null, then we have a third line in our text box. So this goes on until we have read all the content from the file. So finally, we'll set the content to our txt content. There you go. This is our code. Okay. So here we're going to put an error message here, just notifying our user of any exceptions. And in the finally close, we're going to close our buffered reader. So which means our buffered reader object has to be created outside try catch. So here dot close, and this needs a try catch statement for itself, so we'll do that. There you go. Okay, now let's try our application. Let's run our file and see the result. So we have to provide the file location. This is the folder name, and the file name is training file.txt. Now when I click read from file, then there you go. This is the content. This is the content we have in our file. Okay, so this content is being populated to our text box. So this is how we read contents from our file. And let's try to add something. To make sure that we are able to read all the contents in our file. So let's reopen our file and check what we have. Okay, we have 2 lines. Now let's run our application and see what will happen. So this is the folder name. Training file is the file name. Training file.txt. Now read from file. See, this is my file. This is the first line and this is the second line. So we are managed to read all the contents from our text box. That's what we want to do. So we're done. So this is how to read content from a simple text box using Java. Of course, Java FileReader and BufferedReader classes being provided by Java libraries. Okay, so I think it's clear. So if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions of any kind, please put it in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching.